This is kind of a bit of an own goal, this last one, right? It's the Islam is a religion of peace own goal, right? What happened here is that these Zionists and these right-wing nuts, what they do is they say, oh, look at you people always talking about Islam as a religion of peace, and then they hold a picture up, I don't know, of 9/11 or Adi Bellagio beheading someone, right? And it makes Muslims look really, either look dumb, right? Or we're just liars, right? Or hypocrites, right? Just, you know, you can't face reality. We're clearly not a religion of peace. And this came about because dumb Muslims, right, who saw terrorist outrages out there, what they did is they didn't know how to react in an intelligent fashion. Muslims don't have very clever leaders out there, right? They're not political at all. They didn't know what to say. So what they did, they got a kind of camera got stuck in their face, and they said, well, you know, so, Mr. Chaudhry, right? You know, there's a terrorist outrage gone on, yeah. You know, what's that say about your religion, hey? What's that say about you kind of crazies? You know, what you got to say about it? And Mr. Chaudhry, community leader, said, oh, Islam is a religion of peace. Islam means peace. And that's the best argument they could come up with. Well, clearly not, mate, because they're blowing stuff up right around the world is the easy rebuttal, yeah? And as they blow it up, they say, Allahu Akbar. So the whole argument made us look like idiots. The fact of the matter is, Islam is a religion of peace for those who are peaceful with it. It is not a religion of peace, and never has done, and stop lying to people, with those who are not peaceful with it, or with anyone. So for example, if non-Muslims started going around, I don't know, killing other non-Muslims just for the fun of it, Islam would not be peaceful with them. It would fight to stop the oppression. That's the whole point of Islam. That's what jihad is. It's in the Quran. You can't lie. You can't erase it. You can't pretend it doesn't exist. Because guess what? They're calling you out on it. And you're looking either very stupid or you're looking like liars. But the fact of the matter is that the reason why Islam would take to violence, really, and why terrorists right around the world are taking to violence, is nothing to do with Islam being violent. It's the foreign policy of Western governments that are massacring Muslims from one end of the world that is making extremism spread around the Muslim world. You see your brother died, your sister killed, you know, people being tortured, jailed, whatever. Now, Western governments played on this, yeah, on our leaders' ignorance, right? And groups, and they paid groups out there, you know, to parrot this line. Quilliam, Islamic Society of Britain, other groups out there did one or two things. They carried on this argument that says, well, the reason why people are becoming extreme and taking to violence is because it's a warping of the religion. Islam's a religion of peace, but these crazies are perverting Islam, and that's why they're taking to violence. So it's hate preachers that we've got to clamp down on these hate preachers. We've got to kick the mosque's doors in, you know, find the hate preacher, the troll under the bridge, yeah, the evil Muslim fairy that exists that brainwashes people, right? And that was one argument. The government needed that argument, and it paid for people to either shut up and not mention foreign policy, right, or to say that line, right? And you see a lot of these security experts get a lot of their funding from government and from government-funded institutions, and they're constantly talking about this, you know, conveyor belt to extremism. You know, we've got to spy on Muslim young kids just to get radical. But the fact of the matter is nothing to do with that. Extremism came from foreign policy. You brutalise and murder millions of people, they're going to fight you. And there's no way in the history of the world that hasn't happened. There hasn't been a single place in the history of this world where people haven't taken to violence when you brutalise them. Not one. You know, they may point to the fact of, I don't know, blacks in America, Martin Luther King. Well, check the Black Panthers and Malcolm X out on the opposite side. Well, let's take Gandhi. Well, in fact, no, there was a guy called Bose who actually sided with the Nazis to overthrow the British Raj, right? So Indians did it. That's just, there's never been a place on this earth that people have not taken to violence. The Jews took to violence against the Nazis. Yeah, the Christians took to violence against their own government. What do you think the American Revolution was? What do you think Oliver Cromwell was? What do you think the French Revolution was? Never has there been people being brutalized that haven't taken to violence. But Muslims, when they are brutalized, it's not because we're brutalized. It's because we're crazy, violent, barbarian people. So in other words, the government had to lie to the British public, and there's a reason why they had to keep saying this. It's because the British public was saying, well, we keep getting bombed here, right? And, you know, we're driving, creating groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda to spread right around the Muslim world because we keep, because of our awful foreign policy for 100 years. Maybe we should change our foreign policy, have a bit of an ethical foreign. Now that spells hell, doom, disaster. Everything they worked for 100 years to collapse because their own average good white guy is saying, well, maybe we should be a bit more ethical. So they couldn't have the white guy believe that it was their bombs. So what they told their people is, no, it's extremism due to hate preachers or the Quran or the evil troll under the bridge, right? Islam is not peace. It is about justice. And it will compel its people to fight against injustice. But it has to be an injustice for it to kick in. Yeah, and the injustice is clear from Palestine to Pakistan, right? Now, obviously no one's saying that the way these people are fighting is right, it's good, but there is a reason, there's the root, there's a cause. Don't blame, the reason why people get stabbed in the street in London and Paris and everywhere else is because people believe that Muslims follow a barbaric religion because that's what they've been taught for 1,000 years. Instead, turn it on those guys and say, well, hold on, no, it's not us, our barbaric religion, it's your barbaric foreign policy. You sort your problems out, stop stabbing us for what your government's doing. I think that's about it. Don't know what else I can say. I think that's about it. Any of the stuff I haven't covered yet, I will try to keep messaging me. Add me on Twitter, add me on Facebook, add me on, read my blogs if you want to know my deeper analysis on certain things, and I will try to answer any of the questions that keep coming up. All right, Assalamu alaikum.